So in this video I'm going to show you how I test the Range cylinder on an Eaton 13-speed transmission. But this probably applies, actually it certainly applies to other transmissions such as the 15, the 11 or the 18 speed as well, which have a button for a high range and a low range. So basically what I did is, if you didn't watch my previous videos, I disconnected the air regulator and connected an air line fitting right to the end of the piston here. That's the head of the cylinder here. Now that might be different in certain transmissions. Some of them you have to use the other fitting. So there's two inlets for the air. Here's one, and there's another one behind it. So basically one for each side of the piston. So one side moves the piston one way, the other side moves the piston the other way. Now that might be different in certain transmissions, like I said. So some transmissions, this one, the piston has to be into the transmission. So I have to put air on the head, on the end of the piston to push it in to get the low range. Now on some transmissions it's the opposite, right? So then I had to cap off the main air into the from the shift controls. So that's it here. That's why I put a valve, because otherwise all the air will leak out. And then you connect air to it, push the cylinder in. And fortunately in my case, I'm using the other truck as an air compressor, but you could use a home compressor to push the air in. And then I experimented driving and I get the low range. Now if you want to try, in my case, the opposite, if I want to get the high range, then I have to do the opposite. I just change the fitting. I just change the entrance on the piston. It's really that simple. What else can I say? Yeah, and then I just shifted it back and forward. It shifts perfectly fine. So basically when you push high range, the air in that side of the cylinder should exhaust, and then air goes into the other side of the piston to move it the other way. It's just a two-way piston, moves in and out. So you got to put air in to see if it does that, if it moves in or out. Again, I still don't know what the purpose of the regulator is, but I'm seriously considering installing a safety valve. So in my case, the transmission got stuck in high range. I don't know if it's the regulator, if it's just the piston that hasn't been moved in a while, so it's kind of seized. But that's the worst thing that can happen, is being stuck in high range. Because it's impossible to move the truck, well, nearly impossible. I'm a Mission Impossible guy. I'm like the Pakistani truck of Canada here. But working under the mosquitoes in the forest and the jungle here with limited amount of tools and no help, and all things going against me. But anyways, what I was saying is that, I forgot what I was saying. Yeah, so the problem with high range, was being stuck in high range with a loaded truck, is it's very difficult or nearly impossible to move it. I much rather be stuck in low range, because then I just have to go slow. I just got to be patient and go slow, but I can easily drive it, right? But if you have it in high range, then that's it becomes very difficult, or it could or it could be impossible if you're in a very steep hill. regardless, you're still forcing the truck, forcing the transmission, forcing the drive line, getting it moved in high range. So that's probably why I had the smoke and that stuff coming out of it and nasty noise. So if I have some sort of a safety valve where it's just connected directly to the air pressure, like what I'm doing now, it's perfectly safe. That's why I'm wondering why there's an air regulator there, because if for testing I can use full pressure 120 psi instead of, then why should I need 60 psi regulated? Why should I have half the pressure? But anyways, if I have a safety valve that's, like I said, directly connected to the piston, to the cylinder, to the air cylinder, then if I do get a situation like that, I can just close off the other valves like I did now and just turn that valve on so that the piston switches to a low range and stays in low range. You can't move it in high range. I'm gonna say I'm definitely gonna do that because I don't want to have this risk again. And even though it's a very heavy duty truck, very heavy duty transmission, it does have these very annoying weak links, which I hate. I really hate that. So I gotta try to get rid of it. And again, it's, it replaces something complicated like an expensive truck part, like a slave valve or some other sort of, like the air regulator, with regular, readily available plumbing parts, really. Like if you look at that fitting that I put in, that's just a valve from Home Depot. Like literally from Home Depot I got that valve there. So I always like to simplify things and make things more reliable. But that's how you test the cylinder on the field, on the truck. I did see another video, nice and clean video with the parts already removed and everything nice and easily accessible on YouTube. That's helpful, but this is reality here. It did take me pretty much a full day worth of work out here to get this test done.